Imagine finding an unexpected check for up to $1,400 in your mailbox.
Well, that's exactly what's happening to a million taxpayers.
Really?
Yeah, the IRS is sending out these special payments, and it all stems from a 2021 tax credit that many people overlooked.
So the IRS is basically admitting they might have messed up and are now trying to make things right.
You could say that. They're recognizing that many people might have missed out on the full amount they were due from those economic impact payments, or, as most know them, stimulus checks.
Ah, those stimulus checks. I remember those.
This credit, the Recovery Rebate Credit, was designed as a sort of safety net.
For those who didn't get their full stimulus amount back in 2021.
Exactly.
So why are so many people just now getting this money?
It seems a lot of people either left the field for this credit blank on their tax forms or put $0.
Oh, I can see how that might happen. Tax forms can be confusing.
The IRS data seems to show that many of these folks likely qualified for at least a portion of the credit.
So the IRS is taking the initiative to send out these payments automatically. That's good news for those who are eligible.
Definitely. They're aiming to make sure people receive the money they deserve.
So let's break down who's eligible for this surprise windfall.
Sure. To qualify, you must have filed your 2021 tax return, but didn't claim the Recovery Rebate Credit, even though you were eligible.
And this is specifically related to the third stimulus payment, right? The one that went out in March of 2021.
That's right.
And you said the maximum payment is $1,300 per person.
It is, but the actual amount depends on your income and whether you received any of that third stimulus payment back then.
So income plays a role here.
Absolutely. The credit starts to phase out at certain income levels.
Meaning?
Well, the threshold for single filers begins at $75,000 of adjusted gross income.
And for heads of household?
$112,500.
Okay. And what about married couples filing jointly?
For them, it's $150,000. So if you earned above certain limits in 2021, you wouldn't have qualified for the credit in the first place.
What were those limits?
An adjusted gross income exceeding $80,000 for single filers, $120,000 for heads of household, or $160,000 for joint filers meant you weren't eligible.
Got it. So for those who meet the criteria, how and when can they expect to receive these payments?
They'll be automatic, just like those previous stimulus checks. The IRS started sending them out in December, and most should arrive by late January 2025.
And I'm assuming the payment method will be the same as previous tax refunds or IRS payments.
Yep. If the IRS has your bank account information, you'll get a direct deposit. Otherwise, they'll mail you a paper check.
And to avoid any confusion, the IRS will send a letter to notify recipients.
That's right. The letter will explain the payment and its purpose.
Now, what if someone hasn't filed their 2021 taxes yet?
There's still hope.
So they can still claim this credit.
Absolutely. The deadline to file your 2021 tax return and claim the credit is April 15th, 2025.
Even those with minimal or no income in 2021.
Even then, if they think they might be eligible, they should definitely file.
This is a good reminder to check those old tax returns. You never know what you might find.
Exactly. It's always worth double checking. You could have overlooked deductions, credits, or even refunds.
And just to clarify, this Recovery Rebate Credit, even if claimed now, won't be counted as income, right?
Correct. It won't affect your eligibility for federal benefits like Supplemental Security Income, S&P, TANF, or WIC.
So it's truly a bonus for those who qualify.
It is. The IRS wants to make sure eligible taxpayers get the help they were entitled to without any unintended consequences. This whole situation really highlights how complex our tax system can be.
Yeah, it definitely shows the challenges people face when trying to figure out all the rules and regulations.
The Recovery Rebate Credit was intended to help people, but it seems like it unintentionally led to a lot of eligible individuals missing out.
It probably didn't help that it was tied to such a specific event, the pandemic.
That's true. Tax laws are always changing, often because of things no one could have predicted.
Which makes me wonder, how do people even learn about these tax credits and benefits in the first place?
That's a good question. How effectively are these programs communicated to the public, especially those who need them the most?
If we just rely on people to figure out those complicated tax forms on their own, it's no wonder millions of dollars go unclaimed.
It definitely suggests we need more proactive outreach and education from the IRS. Maybe we need to use technology and simplify how we communicate these things.
Like, what if there were easy-to-use online tools that could guide people through the process and make sure they don't miss out on potential benefits?
Those kinds of tools would be so helpful, especially for those who can't afford professional tax help or get intimidated by the whole tax filing process.
Exactly. If we can empower taxpayers with knowledge and resources, it will help them make informed decisions about their finances.
The goal is to make sure financial assistance reaches those who need it most.
This recovery rebate credit situation is a good example of how we're constantly trying to make our tax system fairer and more accessible.
It highlights the importance of always improving and adapting, especially in a world that's changing so rapidly.
And it shows how important open communication and collaboration are between taxpayers and the IRS.
We need a system that's fair, transparent, and helps everyone achieve financial well-being.
Paying taxes might be unavoidable, but it doesn't have to be a nightmare.
Right. By working together, we can create a tax system that's both efficient and equitable.
So what does all this mean for individual taxpayers moving forward?
This situation, while unusual, offers some valuable lessons for everyone.
Like what?
Well, it reinforces how important it is to be diligent when filing your taxes, even years later.
You're saying it's always a good idea to go back and check old returns.
Exactly. You never know. You might find deductions or credits you overlooked.
Even if you didn't make much money in a particular year, it could still be worth filing a return.
As we've seen with this recovery rebate credit, filing a return can be beneficial even if you don't owe any taxes.
And staying informed about changes in tax laws and available benefits is crucial, since those things can really impact your financial situation.
Absolutely. Resources like the IRS website and reliable financial publications can provide helpful updates and guidance.
And if you're not sure about your eligibility for certain credits or deductions, don't hesitate to get professional tax advice.
A qualified tax professional can help you navigate the complexities of the tax system and make sure you're taking advantage of everything you're entitled to.
As you said earlier, knowledge is power when it comes to your finances.
Being proactive and informed is the best way to make sound financial decisions for yourself and your family.
I imagine some people might be feeling frustrated, even angry, to learn about this unclaimed credit.
I understand why they might feel that way, especially if they were struggling financially during the pandemic.
But the good news is the IRS is taking steps to correct the situation, sending out these payments proactively.
And they're providing clear guidance and resources for those who might still be eligible to claim the credit.
It shows that even complicated systems like our tax system can be adjusted and improved to better serve people.
It underscores the importance of accountability and transparency in government programs.
So for anyone who thinks they missed out on this credit, don't give up hope.
There's still time to take action.
What should they do?
First, gather all your 2021 tax documents, review the IRS guidelines, and determine if you're eligible.
And if they qualify.
File your return or an amended return as soon as possible.
Even if they don't qualify for this particular credit, there might be other benefits they could be getting.
Exactly. It's always worth exploring all the options and doing everything you can to improve your financial well-being.
Don't leave money on the table, right?
Right. Take charge of your finances and arm yourself with knowledge.
This whole situation is a great reminder that even in a complex world, there are ways to navigate challenges and create a more financially secure future.
It really speaks to the resilience of people and the power of working together.
By staying informed, engaged, and proactive, we can create a more equitable and prosperous society.
It's all about empowering individuals, promoting shared responsibility, and working together to build a brighter future for everyone.
Now, let's get into some practical advice for those who are wondering what to do next.
Sure, let's break down the steps to figure out if you're eligible and how to claim the credit.
First things first, gather all your important documents.
Right, you'll need your 2021 tax return, any documentation about the economic impact payments you received, and your Social Security number.
And then what?
Go to the IRS website and find the section dedicated to the Recovery Rebate Credit.
They have a whole section just for this.
They do. You'll find tons of information there, including FAQs, eligibility criteria, and instructions for filing or amending your return.
So people should carefully review those materials to see if they meet the requirements.
Exactly. And if you're unsure about anything, don't hesitate to contact the IRS directly.
How can they do that?
They can call, use the online chat, or even send a letter. The IRS is there to answer questions and guide you through the process.
Once someone has confirmed their eligibility, what's the next step?
Then you can either file your 2021 tax return or amend a return you've already filed. If you're filing a new return, you can download the forms from the IRS website or have them mailed to you.
And if someone needs to amend a previous return?
They'd use Form 1040X, which is the amended U.S. individual income tax return.
Okay, and on that form?
Make sure you clearly indicate that you're claiming the Recovery Rebate Credit and include all the supporting documentation.
Good point about the documentation.
Definitely. And always double check everything before submitting your return or amended return.
To avoid any mistakes or delays.
Exactly. Accuracy is super important here.
What if someone's filing electronically?
In that case, make sure you're using a reputable tax software program or online platform.
And if they're filing by mail?
Then they need to send their return or amended return to the right IRS address. It varies depending on your state and filing status. status.
You can find all that info on the IRS website, right?
Absolutely. And one more thing, always keep copies of everything for your records.
So you have proof of your claim just in case.
Right.
Any idea how long it takes for the IRS to process these returns and amended returns?
It can vary. They're dealing with a lot right now, so it's best to be patient.
Is there a way to track the status?
You can use the IRS's Where's My Refund tool online.
Oh yeah, I've used that before.
It gives you real-time updates and estimated processing times.
That's helpful. Any other tips to make the process smoother?
Sure. First, gather all your documents ahead of time.
To avoid that last-minute scramble.
Exactly. And organize your paperwork neatly. It makes things so much easier.
Makes sense.
And triple check your calculations and make sure all your entries are correct.
Minimize those errors.
Right. If you're using tax software, take some time to get familiar with how it works.
And don't be afraid to use those help resources, like online tutorials or customer support.
Good point. Now, if you're thinking about hiring a professional, choose a tax preparer with a good reputation.
And ask about their fees and services upfront.
Always a good idea. Filing your taxes doesn't have to be a stressful ordeal.
No, it doesn't.
With a little planning, organization, and the right resources, you can get through it.
I like that positive outlook. Now let's tackle some common questions people might have about this credit.
Sure, it's always good to clear up any confusion.
One question I hear a lot is whether claiming this credit will affect other government benefits.
We touched on this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Claiming the Recovery Rebate Credit won't impact your eligibility for programs like Social Security, S&P, TANF, or WIC.
So it's not like it's going to jeopardize your access to those essential support programs.
Not at all. It's designed to be a supplemental benefit.
What if someone's moved since they filed their 2021 tax return?
If you've changed your address, let the IRS know. That way, you'll receive any correspondence or payments related to your claim.
How do you update your address with the IRS?
You can do it online, by phone, or by mail using Form 8822, which is the change of address form.
What if someone thinks they qualify but hasn't received a payment from the IRS?
In that case, they should contact the IRS and ask about their eligibility and the status of their claim.
And be prepared to provide their Social Security number, tax filing info, and any other relevant documents.
Exactly. The IRS will review their case and advise them on what to do next.
It's important to remember that the IRS is handling a lot of inquiries, so patience is key.
Definitely. And document everything. Keep track of any reference numbers or case IDs they give you.
Staying organized and proactive can really help.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about scams.
Because unfortunately, there are always people trying to take advantage of situations like this.
Right. Be wary of any random calls, emails, or text messages claiming to be from the IRS about this credit.
The IRS would never initiate contact through those channels, would they?
Nope. If you get any suspicious messages, don't give them any personal or financial information. Report the scam to the IRS right away.
It's important to be vigilant and protect yourself from identity theft and fraud.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, let's wrap up with some key takeaways from our conversation.
Sounds good.
The Recovery Rebate Credit is a unique opportunity for eligible taxpayers to claim money they might have missed out on.
And the IRS is making an effort to get those payments out automatically.
They're also providing guidance for those who need to file or amend their returns.
So it's crucial to review those past tax returns, stay updated on tax laws, and seek professional help if you need it.
By being proactive and informed, you can make sure you're not leaving any money on the table.
Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your finances.
Take control of your financial future and use the available resources to your advantage.
This whole situation is a great reminder that even in a world full of complexities, we can find ways to overcome challenges and build a more secure financial future.
It's a testament to the power of resilience and collective action.
By staying informed, engaged, and proactive, we can create a more equitable and prosperous society for everyone.
Absolutely. It's all about empowering individuals, sharing responsibility, and working together to create a brighter future. We hope you found this information useful.